Saxon. On longes dhara lake at Stanbridge. Don on of Stanbridge est along there lake that shoot with Churn westan. Then on north and long there lake at them Gemyðum. Cherbury 1,000 years ago was Ceren, and if it had survived to today, the Ceren part, it would have been Churn, and there are several churns in England.
Probably, almost definitely a British, that is Welsh word for rocks. I'm going to have a look at it in a second. So there's another alternative for Churn, and that is, and this is a bit left field, but Ekwall in his book says compare Churn to Cerne in Dorset, and they're the same thing, which they are. And then compare it with Cerne, and so you've got three different C's there, Ch, S and K, but they're all C's, and they all have ER in them as well. And then it says see Churn with a U, and then that says go and see Cirencester. And it mentions in the Cirencester one that the Churn might be something to do with the Cornovio, which is an Iron Age tribe. Now you might think that's a bit barking, but it's just over there is Swindon. And 1 mile north of Swindon is the Roman station at Dura Cornovium, which gets its name from probably from a tribal name. Now most people say Cornovia, weren't this far south, and they may very well be right. But it might be a word that had meaning beyond just a tribal name, that it was a useful topographic name. So there is that argument, but nonetheless, there's something new here, which I don't think anybody spotted, and that is that the English gave this place, were impressed enough to give this place its British name, but slightly Englishified. So even if it's a river, it's still, there's very few hill forts and barrows and so on that we know the Welsh names of. But we know the Welsh name of this, very probably because it is Welsh. So this river, if it's this river, this stream, then it is, it represents rocks. That's its basic etymology. But it could mean this place is the fort of the Cornovii. You know, all of this stuff is, in which case they might have called it something like Care, Coran or something like that, or Ceren, something like that. So it's and this is my role on this channel, is to look at what the old documents, the early medieval, really early documents tell us about a Roman and prehistoric past, and we're sort of looking through their eyes to prehistory. And that's quite exciting, possibly. Hello, my darling. Hello, sweetheart. Oh no, don't run away. Hello. Come on then. Yush. Come on then. There's a nice nail hole there. It's a nice feature. It's got shell inclusions. I couldn't tell you a date, I haven't got a clue. But yeah. The village has a local history society, And there's some old maps on their website which are quite useful from the 1600s and the 1700s, and it shows with the hatching on it what sort of land use there was, and it really clearly shows that this parish was an island, because it shows meadland in a total circle. Meadland is land that is wet next to a river, and you can see it quite clearly on the map. And then that's a sort of a strip that goes all around the parish, and in the centre of it you've got arable. So over here you've got a cereal crop, I think it's oat, and over here you can see this is meadow, this is pasture next to that stream and the trees. It's nice to see old barns being used, performing their old functions, rather than being let to rot and then new barns being put up. So behind me is described as a laku in the Saxon charter. It's part of the boundary. It's the boundary goes over this hill fort and then comes along here and then heads off to Churn and Cerne, which is another mention of Ceren.